defender O'Connor, going down the outside the left. He puts him on his backside, sends a cross into the centre. It was a good one which Jenkinson could not control, speeding up from right back, and then it deflects rather favourably for the would have wanted, especially seeing as they've had so many problems scoring goals themselves. Iwobi sending the ball through the centre. Willock is leaving it for Maitland-Niles, and I think he's offside, Maitland-Niles. It took a while for the assistant over on the far side, who is Mike Madonna, to raise his flag. We don't have VAR in this game. It is one of the matches that is being televised that we do not have it in. Only 9 of the games have VAR in the third round. This isn't one of them, but the flag was up a little bit delayed, and the chance has gone for Arsenal.
This is probably where my resistance to where VAR should be involved in the game or not. You know, to have some of the games VAR and the others not.
I think it's because it is still a trial.
Yeah.
I must admit, I do think the most important thing with VAR is the communication, not only to the supporters, but to everyone, to the media, to everyone, which has been a problem. Even today I was hearing.
Yeah, Burnley, I think there was a potential problem, wasn't there?
Matty Vidra was running up to take his penalty kick before it was told that he was offside in the build-up to it. The goalkeeper's come racing out here, and Arsenal's long ball down the left-hand side. Nketiah has chased it and won it for them. Iwobi's taken over, produced across towards the far post. Jenkinson sends it back across the face of goal, but no one can latch onto it. Maitland-Niles is the closest to it, and it's cleared away. But there's chances galore here for Arsenal in the opening 14 minutes. Live on TalkSport, where it's Blackpool 0, Arsenal 1. Ball now picked up centre field. Callum Guy spreads it left. Liam Feeney speeds away down towards the corner flag, attacking the Arsenal goal. Away to our right, he gets to the byline, tries to produce a cross. The tackle comes in from Aaron Ramsey, who got back there to help out, and pushes it behind and away for a corner.
Yeah, Blackpool look as though if they do turn the ball over, they can be fairly effective. They're pretty quick on the counter-attack, especially with Nandalay up front, and Delfonso playing just in front of us on the right side. But Arsenal really impressed with Willock and Nketiah and Niles Maitland early on, looking at running behind, and they're breaking the back line of Blackpool quite well.
Here is the corner. Callum Guy right under the goalkeeper again, under real pressure. Petr Cech goes up and tries to punch it, glances off the back of his glove and goes behind and away for a free kick. You're listening to Talk Sport on TalkSport 2 right now. Updates on all the games that are kicking off at 5:30, including this one, of course, where it's Blackpool 0, Arsenal 1, Bristol City 0, Huddersfield 0, Crystal Palace 0, Grimsby Town 0, but Grimsby down to 10 men already. Newcastle 0, Blackburn 0, and Norwich 0, Portsmouth 0. Earlier on today, Bournemouth lost 3-1 to Brighton at home. 17 changes in the game between those two. Burnley only just got through a 92nd minute penalty from Jack Court as they beat Barnsley. That's after the first kick that was given to them was ruled out subsequently for offside. Marko Arnautovic and Andy Carroll were on the score sheet against Birmingham as West Ham went through, but Arnautovic had to come off in that game because of an injury, I think, although he didn't look too happy about it when he did come off. League One, Accrington knocked out struggling Ipswich at the Crown Ground as well, and Arsenal on the attack again here. Nketiah in behind the defence, bringing the ball down. Offside flag is up again.
Yeah, you can see I love watching the contrast of how different managers want their team to play, and Emery's got his team out there much more direct now, look to play the ball in behind, and we're seeing that even with their youngsters who are playing up front today. They're looking to play in behind, they know the ball's going to come.
Well, he is a cup king himself, isn't he, Unai Emery? A 3-time winner of the Europa League, back-to-back with Sevilla, and twice a cup winner in France with PSG. Here is Nketiah, infield to Ramsey. Ramsey moving forward and spreading the pleasure of Iwobi, edge of the area. On the overlap is Kolasinac. He tried to tuck it round the corner to him. Delfonso stood strong and managed to get the ball to the halfway line. Nandalay backs into Socrates Papastadopoulos. Back in field to Delfonso, and then on by Spearing towards the far side of the pitch, where it's helped by Daniels out to Bola. Bola Back in field to Spearing, who's being harassed by Willock. Callum Guy is being pushed and pulled by Mohamed El Neni, the Egyptian international. Eventually it's launched long by Daniels and on to Nandalay, whose flick on finds Delfonso arriving on the edge of the box. The ball is turned into Taylor, who tries to smack it goalwards. Took a little deflection, easily saved by Petr Cech. There has been another red card, this time down at Carrow Road, where Grant Hanley has been sent off inside the first half of their game against Portsmouth, and it is still 0 between Norwich and Portsmouth. But League One Portsmouth, Norwich top-ish of the Championship, and the top automatic positions of the automatic promotion positions of the Championship. And they're in a little spot of bother in that game down at Carrow Road.
Could be a good game, that one. I went to Portsmouth on New Year's Day to watch them. Interesting.
Did you?
Good victory, yeah, against Wimbledon. Tough game. Wimbledon played well, I got to say, second half.
Bit of a renaissance over the last couple of weeks for Wimbledon under Wally Downs, weren't there? And then Portsmouth put paid to that. Kenny Jackett's got them in great shape.
Yeah.
Here's Lichtsteiner out to the right, looking for Maitland-Niles. It goes into the left full-back position, and Feeney, who is actually the left winger, is back there again, hoisting it upfield, trying to get it clear for a Blackpool, but Arsenal smuggle it out of play and away for a throw-in over on the far side. Blackpool don't score too many goals. They aren't much of a threat going forward. They are the lowest scorers in the top 18 of League One, despite sitting in 10th position.
How many times has Nandalay scored this year?
He's got 7 goals. He scored the winner he scored in the win against Solihull in the last round. But yeah, just 7 goals this season. Delfonso 5. He's their league top scorer, Delfonso. A lot of Nandalay's goals have come in cup competitions. He had a bit of a dry spell, actually. Nandalay and Delfonso, they've had a bit of a dry spell. Terry McPhillips thinks that is something that they can overcome. He says they're not playing too badly, and actually they played all right against Sunderland during the game on New Year's Day, but they just didn't have the ability to convert their chances.
As I say, at these early stages, I've been quite impressed with Nandalay. He's held it up well. He's competed in the air. What would he be? 6'2". He's fair stamp. He's quick enough as well.
Yep. He's a tall lad, isn't he? He's probably a little shade over 6'2". He's deep inside the Arsenal half, but Arsenal have possession, and Willock, the goal scorer, brings it through midfield up to Ramsey, who tosses it over the top, hoping for Iwobi to chase. Nottingham guides it back to his goalkeeper, who quickly smacks it clear. And Nandalay again wrestling with Socrates Papastadopoulos, does it incredibly well, turns and runs centrally, plays it out towards the far side, and he finds Feeney. Feeney running down the left touchline, skating towards the edge of the area. Infield he goes. Bowler takes over. Cross goes into the box, stabbed half clear by Socrates, and then comes out into the midfield area, and before Spearing can react, Nketiah has sandwiched himself in between man and ball, won it, turned it over for Arsenal, and they're now racing away on a counter-attack. Iwobi hands it off to El Neni, whose strike is low, takes a deflection and goes behind and away. I think there might have been an offside flag up there anyway, which prevented Arsenal from getting a corner kick, but it was a real chance, and smacked by El Neni, took a deflection and almost outfoxed goalkeeper Mark Howard, who went down to his right, but the ball, well, it could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, the ball swept from one end to the other. Nandalay, great set-up play right in front of us there, Sam, you know, for his team to have an opportunity at Arsenal's goal. And then they've just swept right up the end of the pitch, Arsenal. And good effort at goal.
I mean, I don't know whether or not he's consistent. I don't watch them week in, week out. But this afternoon, so far, the way he's held the ball up, the way he's bullied the 2 central defenders, the ball's just come down the middle of the pitch there, and he's just, he's ragdolled Socrates Papastadopoulos. Here is Delfonso down the right side, gets to the byline, produces a cross which is too close to Petr Cech, wasn't going to catch him out of the near post. He gobbles it up and bowls it out towards the near side. Quite a good tempo to the game. Blackpool 0, Arsenal 1 on TalkSport, on what has been an amazing day of FA Cup football on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. I heard John Motson doing Chelsea and Nottingham Forest a little bit early on. Chelsea winning that game by 2-0. Elsewhere, Swansea hammered Aston Villa at Villa Park. Everton made it into the next round with a 2-1 win over Lincoln City. The 90th minute winner gave Wimbledon a 3-2 win over Fleetwood, just up the road. Here's Delfonso into the area. Ball to the back post. It's not a bad one. Taylor was coming in on the edge of the 6-yard box but couldn't reach it. Goes out to the far side. Feeney recycles it. Deep cross towards the far post. Blackpool on the attack here. Comes out as far as Spearing and then hit on the volley by Callum Guy. It cannons into the Arsenal defence and breaks towards the right-hand side. And Nketiah, always busy and looking to win the ball, guides it back to Jenkinson, who didn't want it there. He's given it away. And it's taken on by O'Connor, who's striding forward now towards the edge of the box. Got tugged back there. Referee said play on. And Feeney wins it back midway inside Arsenal territory.
It'll be one of those games. If Blackpool can stay in the game and keep it fairly tight at the back, I'm not sure they'll contain Arsenal and stop Arsenal scoring again. But if they can, I think they'll have opportunities, because Delfonso's quick and direct. I've worked with him before. He's one of these players who he's probably not fulfilled the potential he probably had as a 19, 20-year-old.
Really?
Yeah, I felt as though he'd go on to be better than he is.
Here's Bowler down the left-hand side, getting towards the left edge of the penalty area now as they come on the attack again. Blackpool. Feeney takes over. His cross is a good one. And two players underneath it, Nandelay and Taylor, they get in each other's way. And that means it's a ricochet in Arsenal's favour. And Ramsey very quickly has launched it towards halfway. Iwobi's chased it, won it. Now he's trying to get past O'Connor. Plays it wide to Willett. Good take by him. Runs to the angle of the penalty area. Bursts into the box. Spearing coming back on the cover. Slides in inside the area and pushes it out and away for a corner to Arsenal. Lively football match. Arsenal lead by 1-0.
It's a good game. He sweeps from end to end. Blackpool are not afraid to go and chase a goal. Arsenal looking very more direct on the counter-attack, cutting Blackpool open at will. And on that occasion, and Spearing's done it a couple of times, he's tracked players back into his back four unselfishly for the team.
El Nenny's going to take the corner. I had to stand up then in order to see that, because we're in the midst of the Arsenal supports here and they're all on their feet. And it is going to be taken by the Egyptian away to our left. Iwobi, I think, has trotted over there too. He plays it short to the Nigerian, then on to Kolasinac, then back to El Neni, who travels up towards the 18-yard line. Down by the byline is Iwobi, tries to get across into the box, took a deflection off Spearing, who blocked it initially, and goes behind and away for another corner kick. Still 1-0 to Arsenal. Of course, the League One team has already caused a stir today, and that is the main headline of the day. Gillingham beating Premier League Cardiff by 1-0.
I've got to say that result and Ipswich being beaten were two that Jim Proudfoot mentioned yesterday. He fancied those two.
And the bookies made Accrington the favourites for that game against Ipswich.
Well, I must tell him then, that was no tip whatsoever.
Yeah, what was that, eh? Come on, Jim. You can do better than that. I did have a 22-1 poke on Lincoln, I must admit.
Yeah, that was another one he mentioned, but I kept quiet about that.
Ramsey's attacking the far post as the ball is put into the area. It's cleared by Spearing out towards this near side. Now it's picked up by Iwobi, who comes infield, finds Ramsey. Ramsey tries to turn onto El Neni. Iwobi, he looks and plays it left towards the edge of the area where Willock takes over, tries to dance in between three Blackpool bodies, comes back to Iwobi, who shoots from distance, and it's dragged it across the floor and wide of the left-hand upright, and it's out of play and away for a goal kick.
Well, the one thing we've not been short of is goal-scoring opportunities, isn't it, really? You know, both teams, I've got to say, probably Arsenal more so than Blackpool, but both teams have threatened the opposition's box, which gives for a good game.
And talking of Jim, by the way, tomorrow he'll be at Woking against Watford with Mark Saggers at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, the National League South side. And we'll be at home against Watford. That's live on TalkSport tomorrow. And then at 4:30, League 2, Newport County versus Leicester City. Both those games live on TalkSport. In a week in which Stuart and I are basically spending the whole time together, because tomorrow he's coming to Dancing on Ice, aren't you?
I am, my friend, yes.
Yeah. And then Monday we're going to Wolves against Liverpool. And Tuesday night we've got live coverage of Tottenham against Chelsea from Wembley. Stuart and I will be there for that. And Manchester City against League One Burton. is on Wednesday night.
I've got a little sequin number for tomorrow. I'm not sure I shall be wearing that at Wolverhampton or at Tottenham or at Man City.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Here is El Neni guiding the ball back into the right full-back position. Jenkinson, who looked to clear, couldn't do so, goes out for a throw which Blackpool will take over on the far side. Blackpool 0, Arsenal 1 in the third round of the FA Cup, live on TalkSport with the Sun Football. Ball thrown down the line by Bola into Nandale, who was pushed in the back by Lichtsteiner, who's screaming at Mike Dean, the referee, and a free kick has been given here to Blackpool in quite a dangerous position.
Yeah, he shook up one or two of the Arsenal back line, I think. You know, he's held it up well, he's competed well in the air, and sometimes you think to yourself, it would be nice to see, if you were a manager playing devil's advocate, put him in the Arsenal front line, and I think he'd have caused problems and done quite well playing up front for Arsenal today.
Here's the free kick taken by Taylor in towards the near post. Nandale's there with a free header, and this time he doesn't connect, and it's straight into the arms of Petr Cech. He just got a glance on that, nothing more, and it was not enough to take it beyond the Czech goalkeeper, who stood there and I think was pretty relieved that it went straight into his hands.
It was a great opportunity, poor defending from Arsenal, I've got to say. 2 or 3 Blackpool players were clear on goal. It was Nandale's head it landed on.
Well, when you were discussing just before the free kick that he's roughed up 1 or 2 of the Arsenal defenders, I was going to say, rather facetiously, are you surprised after what we saw last Saturday?
Yeah, fair point.
I mean, they were torn apart by Liverpool. They shouldn't be being bullied by a League One side, but it is a makeshift defence today. Lichtsteiner has had to move into the central area because of a pre-match withdrawal by Unai Emery of Laurent Koscielny, who was initially named in the starting 11, and Jenkinson is playing at right back as a result. He was initially named on the bench. Here is Lichtsteiner taking the ball over halfway line for Arsenal. Down the right he goes, and travelling slowly finds Jenkinson, who looks for the run of Nketiah, who comes short for him but can't receive it. It goes fizzing past into the arms of the goalkeeper Howard, and it will be cleared away upfield. 1-0.
Where I'm impressed with Blackpool, I think they're playing without fear. I don't see them playing, you know, with a sort of trepidation and fear about who they're playing against. I think they're just going out and playing their game as a league game, and that's given to a really open game.
Well, they have a wealth of attacking options, and they're not shy about using them, and the youngsters are pretty lively, aren't they? Willock there almost closing down Spearing as they tried to clear. They managed to get away with that, Blackpool, and they're coming down the right now with Nottingham, who's crossing the box, is beaten away by Papastadopoulos. He just nudges it back into the air looking for Nandale, but that wasn't a great ball in by him, and eventually it's cleared out over to the far side where Liam Feeney, the experienced winger, goes inside and then outside. The former Cardiff and Blackburn man gets to the byline, tries to take on Jenkinson, who holds up Feeney enough to stop him from crossing. The ball goes out of play and away for a throw. Bola, the defender, over on the far side, the left. The full-back sends it back in field, and there's a chase on here to get the loose ball, which O'Connor wins, and then Delfonso hoping to try and latch onto it. Maybe it was just a bit too heavy. It goes out and away for a goal kick to Arsenal. 1-0, the Gunners lead.
Yeah, I thought that was a horrible loose ball there from Spearing. He sort of just got away with a crossfield pass, and then from that O'Connor should have supplied a better ball to Delfonso, who was clear.
Well, Arsenal are scoring cup goals for fun this season. They're already off the mark here. 18 now under Unai Emery in less than 10 games. I mentioned they had a wealth of attacking options, and they've already had 6 shots on goal, 55% possession. But Blackpool have had 1 or 2 themselves. 4 of their efforts have been on target. Here's Delfonso down the right-hand side, trying to get into a crossing position. Across comes Kolasinac and just pushes it out of play. It's away for a throw. I don't think this game's over yet.
No, it's anything but, I've got to say. It'll just hinge on whether Blackpool can keep Arsenal out for for the full 90 minutes and stop them scoring another goal.
Here's the throw-in towards the near post. Oh, it's missed by Cech, who came out and didn't collect it at all. It goes to Feeney, left side of the area, right-footed shot, tame and easily taken by Petr Cech away to our right-hand side.
He's not looked the most comfortable, is he, coming for crosses at all, Cech?
Well, the goalkeeper's not looked comfortable there. Mark Howard came out to get a routine clearance on the edge of his own penalty area. He was shut down by Nketiah, and somehow the ball squirmed away from the Arsenal striker. And then there was a bit of a confrontation over on the far side, which an Arsenal player pulled out of. Here is Willock onto Maitland-Niles for Arsenal on the attack again. Down the right for Willock to get the cross in, or he's run out of room. And it's going to go out of play and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. Willock, by the way, the youngest player to score for Arsenal in the FA Cup since January 2010, when Aaron Ramsey netted against West Ham United.
This game has probably been spent most of the time in the last third of both teams, isn't it, really? It's probably rarely spent in that middle third, you know. Watched the game yesterday, which, well, certainly for the first half, it was all about the ball being in the middle of the pitch, to be honest with you. Teams defending deep with the potential of counter-attack. On this one, it's just so open. It's a fantastic game to watch.
Here is Daniels for Blackpool, up to halfway, being harassed by Willock. Goes back infield to Spearing, who drifts it over the top. Feeney is offside. And I thought he was going to get away with that, and so did most of the Blackpool crowd, the ones that are here. The flag went up away to our right-hand side very quickly. Andy Halliday is the official on this near touchline. He waited and waited and waited until Feeney picked the ball up, and just as he was about to cross, that's when he raised the flag, and the free kick was given for offside. And usually they average around about 4,000 here. There'll be about 11, maybe 10, 11 here today, but a lot of that is Arsenal, just like on New Year's Day when they had 10,000 here, and a lot of it was Sunderland. Blackpool won a throw over on the far side. Lichtsteiner thought that it was going his way, then threw the ball back to Petr Cech. Mike Dean wasn't happy about it, and he had a quick word with the Swiss, who's just trotted back into his defensive position.
Yeah, once again turned over by Nandelay then. Misjudged his pace. He got there nice and early, then slide tackle ricocheted off Lichtsteiner.
Lichtsteiner, not Liechtensteiner. He's a resident of Liechtenstein.
No, I just make names up as I go, you know, just to concentrate and sharpen your focus.
If he was a Liechtensteiner, he'd come from one of the smallest countries in Europe. I don't think I've ever done
San Marino.
Hey, I don't think I've ever done a Liechtenstein game.
No, I haven't actually.
Here is Daniels sending the ball long. Spearing guides it back to Daniels again. Donovan Daniels trying to nudge it through the centre. Bowler goes across and wins it, and then Ramsey goes down under pressure from Mark Bowler, who was in the Arsenal youth team, and the left full back knows very well the likes of Maitland-Niles and Nketiah and Joe Willock. Might help him today, might not. El Neni guiding it back to Aaron Ramsey, who sprinted all the way back into his own half. He then brings the ball out over on the far side. And lots of rumours about his future, that he's signed a pre-contract with Juventus. Certainly they're sniffing around.
Yeah, I think, listen, if he's not playing, he's not a regular, then I think he needs to go somewhere and get some regular football. I really do.
Ramsey from Socrates Papastadopoulos sends it upfield. Maitland-Niles on the turn. Nketiah down the right is Jenkinson. Jenkinson looks up. The run of Iwobi is picked out. He moves towards the edge of the area after bringing the ball down. There's three waiting inside the box. Iwobi tries to send it on for Jenkinson, who's low cross into the near post. Might come at the back post for Willock after taking a deflection, and he finished it off from 1 yard out. He couldn't help but do so. 2 goals for Joe Willock inside the first half. Excellent move from Arsenal. It wasn't perfect, but when it came to Jenkinson, his cross seemed to outfox the Blackpool defence. No one took charge of the situation, and then it was tucked home at the far post by the arriving Joe Willock. It's Arsenal who lead by 2-0.
Yeah, Willock, great finish on the far post there. O'Connor, the Blackpool central defenders, just run across to the linesman and just harangued him for the last couple of minutes while Arsenal have been celebrating. He's not happy about something, whether he felt as though there was an offside or a ball out of play from Jenkinson.
Well, the reason we don't have VAR today is because this isn't a Premier League ground, and most of the infrastructure is in those stadiums, not in, obviously, a League One stadium. That goal, which is 8 minutes before half-time, by the way, there's still 8 minutes to go, folks, has led to a mass exodus to the concession stands for a half-time cup of tea, maybe a Twix.
It is. There's a lot of movement in front of us. A sea of gunners are on their way.
Yeah. I think it's because there is only one concession stand away to our left-hand side. They don't usually get much business, you see. Here is Feeney over on the far side, the left. Cuts in, right-footed, sends a deep cross towards the far post. Cech comes and punches, and then moves into the left full-back position where he's wrestling with the oncoming attacker. It wasn't Delfonso. It was Nottingham, I think, who was putting him under pressure, and it goes out of play and away for a throw into Arsenal. Just disappeared behind one of the many posts that we've got propping up this temporary stand. It isn't that temporary.
It's a nice ground, isn't it, Blackpool? It really is. I mean, when from where we're sat and looking at the three sides facing us, it's a very tidy little ground.
Yeah. And it's well serviced by a hotel, which is wrapped around the outside of it. A restaurant. Club shop was all right, wasn't it? We went in there to pick up our
tickets. Very good, very friendly staff.
Very friendly. They let us out the back way into the stadium, which was nice.
I'm not sure it'll take my business at the Punk Festival, though. I'm still quite happy in sort of 40 towers in the middle of Nottingham, in the middle of Blackpool. Sorry,
you're happy in the middle of Nottingham as well. But just for those of you who don't follow our regular commentaries on the 5:30, Blackpool is the place where Stuart Pearce has his yearly trip to the Punk Festival. When is it?
August time. August bank holiday, first August of the month.
Even if we've got a game on a Saturday at 5:30, he will go to the game and then drive back up to Blackpool because someone will be on around about midnight that he wants to see.
Well, they run till 2 in the morning on a Saturday evening, actually, so even though most of the audience are ready for bed, probably about 10 o'clock with a bit of cocoa these days, you know, it does go till 2 in the morning.
Where is that? At the ballroom?
Winter Garden.
Winter Garden.
Yeah. Okay. 6 stages inside the Winter Garden.
Wow. 5 minutes to go before half-time. You're listening to Talk Sport, where it is Blackpool 0, Arsenal 2 in the third round of the FA Cup with the Sun football. Elsewhere on Talk Sport 2 right now, we've got updates of all the other games that kicked off at 5:30. Norwich 0, Portsmouth 0 is the latest scoreline in the game at Carrow Road, although there has been a sending off in that game. Grant Hanley was dismissed inside the first 10 minutes of that game. It's 0-0 Bristol City against Huddersfield. Crystal Palace 0, Grimsby 0, but Grimsby have had a man sent off. And Nketiah is charging down on the penalty area here after a missed tackle by Daniels over on the far side, but Howard has cleared. It's Newcastle 0, Blackburn 0, and Norwich 0, Portsmouth 0. We've had all the goals. Here's Iwobi on the left side for Arsenal. Centre field is El Neni. Space on the right for Jenkinson. He goes left instead, back to Iwobi, into the box, ball towards the near post. And he can't quite find Willock, who was on running once again. And it was cleared by Howard out to the far side and Liam Feeney. And Arsenal have been really bright in attack. And actually, if they'd been more clinical with their finishing, it could be 3 or 4.
Yeah, it could, but listen, I also feel as though Blackpool was slightly better finishing in the final pass, could have had a goal.
That, as I was saying earlier, is the tale of their recent run, in which both these two teams actually have been out of form. 3 wins between them in the last 12 games. Terry McPhillips, who replaced Gary Bowyer in the early weeks of the season, has presided over a festive period in which they've won just once in 6 matches, but they are still in the top half of League One, and they have beaten the likes of Barnsley, Doncaster and Charlton already this campaign. They did miss out on giving Sunderland a bloody nose on New Year's Day because they just couldn't score. Here is Daniels trying to deal with the effervescent Nketiah over on the far side. Runs out of play, and Ramsey wants to get things moving again for Arsenal, deep inside opposition territory. The noise that you can hear is coming from the 5,000 Arsenal fans that have made the journey north. Some of them were hanging around on the Pleasure Beach a little bit earlier on. I was walking up there.
It's a nice little walk down the front, isn't it? Just a touch blustery.
It depends what you mean by nice. It's freezing. Ramsey back to Jenkinson, then all the way back to the goalkeeper. The wind was whipping off the Irish Sea. And it's all right in here, though. Here is Socrates Papastadopoulos moving up to halfway, clipping it down the left. On the run is Kolasinac. He gets there ahead of Nottingham. A little nudge into the centre. And Nketiah was darting towards the near post. So was Willock. Maitland-Niles in there too. Goalkeeper came out and grabbed it. And they've given it away again. But a good first 43 minutes of football we've seen here on Talk Sport, where we're bringing you so much FA Cup football over the course of this weekend. Last night we brought you a game, we brought you this is our third really today. We'll bring you another host of games tomorrow, and then on Monday night we'll finish it off with Wolves against Liverpool, live from Molineux. A few youngsters, I think, for Jurgen Klopp in that game on Monday night. We'll of course bring you all the details. Stuart and I go to Molineux.
There's a draw Monday, Sam?
And the draw is Monday night, straight afterwards. Robbie Keane is helping out with the draw. Of course, he has a foot in both camps there, doesn't he? Wolves and Liverpool.
Yep.
And that's going to be straight after the game. I think Carl Akimi, who sadly had to retire because of his suffering with leukemia, is in remission now. He's also going to do that draw. And that'll be straight after the game on Monday night. And at the moment, Arsenal favourites, as they were before the game, to be in it, because they lead by 2-0. 2 goals scored by Joe Willock in the first half. Arsenal's youngest scorer in the FA Cup for 8 years. Separates these two teams. Here's Delfonso moving down the right for Blackpool. Have had a few efforts in anger. He weaves inside past Iwobi, tries a shot left-footed, hits the back of Socrates, comes back to Spearing, encouraged to shoot. He switches the play instead. Loads of space for Nottingham in the right wing position for Blackpool. His low cross into the near post is easily dealt with by Kolasinac, and it's spooned out and away for a throw.
Yeah, Nottingham's had a couple of opportunities of popping decent balls into the box, and he just failed to beat that first man.
And this is the second meeting of the two this season. The first one wasn't plain sailing for Arsenal. Blackpool scored and had chances in the end. They were playing with 10 men, and the Gunners only edged it 2-1. The throw in from the right side by Nottingham is caught by Cech, and any hopes of getting one before half-time may well have receded. Because we've just reached the 45-minute mark. Only a minute and a half, I think, 2 minutes to be played at the end of the first 45. Nketiah is chasing a loose ball through the centre. He's won it, trying to take it beyond the goalkeeper. Good save by Mark Howard, who fingertipped it round the post. Well, it was a long ball right over the top by Petr Cech, misjudged by Daniels. Nketiah bruised his way through and then found himself one-on-one with Howard and steered it right at the goalkeeper, who made a good save. And that was another chance for Eddie Nketiah. He had 3 good chances in that first half for Arsenal, but the goals that have come from Joe Willock, another teenager, 19 years of age. He scored twice for Arsenal in that first 45 minutes, and Arsenal do lead at half-time. And you don't say that very often. At the break, Blackpool 0, Arsenal 2.
He's absolutely correct. They're doing it here, though, at Bloomfield Road. The fans are all starting to peel out and go and find themselves some refreshments. So we're going to get some reaction from Stuart Pearce in a moment. But first of all, there's loads of live football to look forward to on the TalkSport network. On Sunday, from 2 o'clock, it's Woking against Watford. That is in the third round of the FA Cup, as it has been all weekend. Mark Saggers, Jim Proudfoot and Matt Holland taking you through that one. TalkSport 2 will be around the grounds, covering the 6 remaining 2 o'clock kickoffs. And then from 4:30, it's Newport taking on Leicester. Leicester. That is on TalkSport. That is also Saggers and the team. Gary Taphouse and Ray Houghton is going to join in for that one. And then on Monday from 7:45, myself, Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce, the team that are bringing you this game here from Bluefield Road, will be bringing you Wolves versus Liverpool in a moment. And then on Tuesday, it's both semi-finals, so you can take your pick at 8 o'clock. It's Tottenham versus Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. That is the first leg. And then on Wednesday, we have the 7:45 Manchester City versus Burton, also in the semi-final first leg. Now, Stuart Pearce, I'd like to bring you in, discuss what we've just seen. It's been quite exciting, actually, hasn't it? Did you think that, despite the fact it's 2-0 now to Arsenal, did you think that Blackpool would be in this game as much as they are?
No, I didn't. I think they've had a few really, really good attacks. I think certainly Delfonso in front of us on the right-hand side has been very direct and running at the opposition. Nandulay, I think, has been quite impressive up front for them. You know, his physical presence, his hold-up play's been good. And they've just been short of a little bit of real quality in and around Arsenal's goal mouth. Otherwise, they've probably had quite a few efforts at goal and quite a few opportunities to have better efforts at goal.
You picked out Petr Cech, who's not had a lot of game time lately. He doesn't really start for Arsenal anymore, hasn't done since much earlier on in the season. Looking a little bit shaky today, you thought? Well,
Blackpool are throwing some balls into the box. They've obviously, for corners and for long throws, they're putting players in and around him and trying to fluster him a little bit. I don't think they've delivered the quality ball into the box that really puts him under too much pressure. There's been too much sort of lofty ball, if you like, into the box that he's come and either got a fist on or caught, and it's been slightly too easy for him. But they've certainly looked at that and thought, you know what, we can upset him a touch here. But
options, and Joe Willock and indeed Eddie Nketiah are showing that today. Eddie's probably had 2 or 3 chances where really he's itching to score, isn't he? It feels like it's coming close.
Yeah, it certainly does. Their movement's very good. I've got to say, the pair of them, their movement's good. They're darting beyond the Blackpool back line. And they've got in on several occasions. You would expect Arsenal to score again. I think if that effort just before half time would have found the back of the net, it'd have knocked the stuffing out of Blackpool. But they know full well if they get a goal, it could be an interesting phase. And they've certainly shown that they're up and open for a game, Blackpool.
Stats aren't everything, but if you were Blackpool heading into half time as they are at the moment with these kind of stats, they've had 43% possession, they've had 6 shots on goal versus Arsenal's 8, 2 corners versus Arsenal's 3. Do you think they'd be spirited by that and encouraged by that?
Yeah, I would be. I think from a managerial point of view, they've taken Arsenal on. They're not in awe of Arsenal in any way, shape or form. They've gone after them when they've actually could. They've thrown men forward when they can. And the difference between the two teams is one's Premier League and can finish like Premier League players. The other one is League One, and the final pass is just not there at the moment for them.
How difficult do you think this Arsenal team are finding it with the changes defensively as well? Koscielny coming out of the team just before kick-off, and the little reshuffle of the back line.
It's never ideal. It's happened to me on a few occasions as a manager. You lose a player right on kick-off time. You've got to change all your set plays, which isn't ideal. You've got to fit players in, and as I say, we saw Arsenal's back line away at Liverpool last week that were pulled all over the place, albeit by a fantastic forward line. But even today, I think there's been times where the back line have been put on the back foot a little bit by 1 or 2 players that have got a little bit of pace and physical presence.
You said it in your commentary that Blackpool are playing without fear. How important is that kind of stance when you're heading into a game against Arsenal, who've won this competition a record number of times? They're a Premier League outfit, like you say. They've got goals that can come from anywhere, even with a young team like this. How important is it for Blackpool to keep that mentality?
Well, I think it's vital. The good thing for us here as sort of neutrals, if you like, it's made a really good spectacle to look at. Blackpool could have taken the game on, sat behind the ball, let Arsenal have all the ball and said, right, we're just going to defend with 11 players. They haven't done that. They've left players forward, they've chased the game, they've got men up front, and they've made a real interesting spectacle of it. But they need to get the next goal. It's vital they do that.
It's a great game to watch despite the attendance. It's been really exciting. Now, just to run through the other games that are going on at the moment as well, the 5:30 kickoffs in the FA Cup third round. We told you that we'd tell you about all the goals as they go in. Unfortunately, there haven't been any. Bristol City against Huddersfield 0-0, Crystal Palace against Grimsby 0-0. Grimsby have lost a man. Newcastle against Blackburn 0-0, and Norwich have also got a man down against Portsmouth 0-0. So it's all exciting. This is the game to listen to here at Bloomfield Road on TalkSport. At the moment, it's 2-0 to Arsenal, and we're heading into the second half shortly.
Ramsey has the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's a shade left of centre. There's a four-man wall. They're quite tall, the Blackpool wall, but he steps up right-footed, sends it over the top, hits the post, comes back into the centre. Joe Willock is there to nudge it in for his second goal of the season. Joe Willock playing in the FA Cup for Arsenal from the start today. One of those youngsters that has been given his head by Unai Emery, has taken 11 minutes to get on the score sheet in the oldest cup competition in the world. It's Blackpool 0, Arsenal 1. Iwobi tries to send it on for Jenkinson, who's low cross into the near post. Might come at the back post for Willock after taking a deflection, and he finished it off from 1 yard out. He couldn't help but do so. 2 goals for Joe Willock inside the first half. Excellent move from Arsenal. It wasn't perfect, but when it came to Jenkinson, his cross seemed to outfox the Blackpool defence. No one took charge of the situation, and then it was tucked home at the far post by the arriving Joe Willock. It's Arsenal who lead by 2-0.
Finding your perfect new home can be tough. So if you keep missing out,
it's time to search out On the Market.
There are thousands of new properties to buy or rent every month at onthemarket.com. 24 hours or more before they're on Rightmove or Zoopla.
On the Market.
See them first. Set up a property alert today.
Search onthemarket.com to find your perfect home.
If you're in the market, search onthemarket.com. See onthemarket.com/new and exclusive. Agents specify exclusivity.
What have you got for lunch, Kim?
Just a tin soup. What about you?
I've got
sweet, chili, big flavor wrap with grilled chicken. It's today's wrap of the day at McDonald's.
Oh.
Live your best lunch for just $1.99 with McDonald's Big Flavour Wrap of the Day. From 10:30am, subject to availability, price may vary, participating restaurants only. Rest of range available at regular price.
Escape the 9 to 5 and run away together on a luxurious celebrity cruise ship, just the two of you. Swap this for this, and this for this. Book in-store with the cruise experts at TUI now, and the second guest pays half the cruise fare. Plus, we'll even include a free classic drinks package. TUI. We cross the T's, dot the I's, and put you in the middle. Offer available on selected European and Arabian Gulf sailings. T's and C's apply. At or protected.
If you've BT at home, BT Mobile have something for you. If you haven't, oh dear. Because it's only our broadband customers and everyone in their home that get an exclusive £5 discount on our mobile plans every month. And if you join BT Mobile online, you'll also get a reward card you can use in thousands of retailers to treat yourself. At BT Mobile, we give back more to our customers. Everyone else, sorry. BT, be there.
Discount excludes businesses. For reward card terms, see bt.com/claim-my-reward.
The FA Cup on TalkSport with Sun Football. Pick up the paper for the latest results, news and gossip. We live it.
Bold Alan Brazil, not long ago, just as the day was dawning, failed to appear at TalkSport Towers at 6 o'clock one morning. He wasn't in the kitchen grim, counting out his money, or checking that day's racing tips in TalkSport's awful dunny. At racecourses and in bookie shops, we hunted for him still, but found not one lingering whiff of Monsieur Alan Brazil.
Alan Brazil has finished his roaming in the gloaming, rejuvenated, refreshed, but sadly not rehabilitated. Old Porridge Head is back on the Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast.
Monday morning from 6 on TalkSport. Alan's alive!
Monday night FA Cup football. Wolves versus Liverpool. Kickoff 7:45 on TalkSport.
Hello, welcome back to Bloomfield Road. This is the FA Cup third round. I'm Laura Woods and Stuart Pearce is next to me, and we're just watching this game. Arsenal 2-0 up against Blackpool at the moment. It's half-time. We're going to react to it in a second. 2 goals from Joe Willock. It's been a spirited performance from both teams, with both sides having chances. So the scoreline probably feels like it's going to change a little bit, Stuart, but we shall see. Elsewhere in the FA Cup today, Gillingham had a massive 1-0 win over Cardiff, and we can hear from Gillingham manager Steve Lovell, who felt his side thoroughly deserved the victory.
We had to work very hard against a very, very good side, and we did. We were very disciplined in our defending in the first half, and I know some people get frustrated about the way that we play, but that we had to do it. We had to give them a bit of respect, and we did do. And they're a good side. So, in the second half we came out and had a go, and we took the game to them and thoroughly deserved the win, I think, in the end.
And Cardiff boss Neil Warnock wasn't very positive, and he said his side never looked like scoring.
I thought the attitude was good today. I have no complaints about the attitude. I think you need a bit of luck in the cup, and I don't think we'd have scored if we'd have been playing till now today. I thought we had so many chances, didn't we? And it just seemed like nobody wanted to score. Whether they thought we should be out of the cup and concentrate on the league, I don't know. But to me, I've never seen so many chances, delayed shots and things like that. Rubber the Green ain't gone with us today, but all good luck to them. I think they hope they get a good draw in the next round, and that's what it's all about, the FA Cup, taking your opportunities.
Elsewhere, Accrington Stanley beat Ipswich 1-0, and Accrington manager John Coleman told TalkSport he was delighted for the club and his players.
I think people have woke up to the fact that we are a good side, a good club. I think people realise that this is a good club. It's a well-run club. The owner and the owners done a magnificent job. Got us on a level footing, no debt. We don't spend beyond our means. If we get more people through the gate, we can challenge in League One. I know we can. But whatever we've got, we'll give it a good go. And Ipswich just going through a little sticky patch at the moment, as we were, and we knew that this was a chance for us. They've got good players, and we knew it'd be a good game, and it was a good game. And they've had the chances at the end, and made a good block and a good save by the keeper. But our lads have got big hearts. They run themselves into the ground. You can never ever fault them for that. Sometimes we're a little bit misguided. We've lost our way a bit. We've lost games that we shouldn't have in recent weeks. But they never let their heads up. They're brilliant in training, and I'm delighted for them in there, to be honest. They've earned a few bobbing bonuses, and they deserve it.
And 2 goals from Alvaro Morata saw Chelsea safely through to the 4th round with a 2-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Chelsea coach Carlo Cudicini says the goals will do wonder for Morata's confidence.
He must be pleased for the 2 goals, but he must be pleased for his performance overall. I think he worked hard for the team, and as a consequence he managed to score 2 goals. So I think it's very important for his morale, and we're all happy because of that.
And we can also hear from David Luiz. He was speaking about his teammate Cesc Fabregas. He's sad to see him go.
Yes, I think Cesc is one of the best players playing in England during many years. It was emotional not just for him, for everybody, I think. Maybe he's not going to play anymore for Chelsea, so yeah, sad. But I wish him all the best because he deserves. He's a great player, great character, and they're going to miss him.
We're going to be discussing that a little bit later in the full-time phoning, so if you want to get involved in Chelsea in their game, and also saying goodbye to Cesc Fabregas, you can. The number is 08717 223344. We're going to pay tribute to him. Let's hear now from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who said today was about progressing and trying new things, and that was in their 2-0 win over Reading.
Delighted that we're through in the next round, of course, because that's what it's about in the cup. I put a team together that's not played together. We only had Phil as a centre-back, so I thought Matteo was maybe our top performer today. That was a big plus that we can use him as a centre-back. They made it hard for us, as did I when I put this team together, but we're through. Some of the players came through and knowing that we need to work on our fitness, need to work on a few things, so all in all it's a good day to learn from.
So Stuart Pearce, another win for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's his 5th now since taking charge. Nothing really seems to be bothering them at the moment, but they haven't really had a big test yet, have they?
No, they've played well. There's been an uplift, more energy within the team. We've covered Manchester United a fair bit this season, and the real lack of energy for 1 or 2. I mean, namely, the normal name comes to the fore in Pogba. His energy, as of recent weeks, has been there for all to see in his performance. performance has improved drastically, but the results are good. Ollie's got the club going and got the club in line a little bit, and the fans seem more than happy and very vocal with them. So, but as you say, I think they've got Spurs, haven't they, next Sunday? I think it is Spurs away. I think that's right, and that'll be a very good game, I think, for all concerned.
Chelsea today with their win. Cesc Fabregas, as he walked off the pitch, was quite emotional, and he looked like he was welling up. And the rumours are that he's been linked with a move abroad. How much do you think Chelsea will miss him?
Well, I think English football miss him. I really do. I think his time at Arsenal and his time at Chelsea has been absolutely fantastic. He's been a great servant to English football, and he's given a lot. Conducts himself in an extremely good way, you know. So, but I think he might have come to that stage in his career where he thinks to himself, you know what, I need to be playing regularly.
Yeah, fans around us right now will miss him, Stuart. The Arsenal fans that we're surrounded by at Bloomfield Road here. Arsenal leading 2-0 at the moment, heading into the second half. But in terms of what Blackpool have done so far, I think they can be proud of that first half performance, can't they? As long as they can go on and do something, maybe get something out of this game, even a goal, Stuart. What do you think they can do?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I think their performance has been very good in the first 45 minutes. They've just been undone by some good forward play by Arsenal. They're flat out at the back to deal with the Arsenal movement. There's no doubt about that. But what they've done going forward has been more than a match to Arsenal's backline. Yeah, absolutely. And Arsenal's backline looking a little bit shaky. Perhaps they can get something out of it. OK, well, the second half has just kicked off, so let's get back into it. Hand you over to your commentary team, Stuart Pearce and first Sam Matterface.
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, the FA Cup has not been kind to Blackpool recently. They've managed just 5 90-minute ties, 5 90-minute victories in the last 12 years. And this is the 4th FA Cup tie between these two. Blackpool were the powerhouse when they knocked Arsenal out in 52-53. You know what happened at the end of that. They did the same in 1969-70, but by 1999 the tables had turned and Arsenal were the kingpins, and they're certainly in charge of this one. 2 goals in the first half for Joe Willock have separated League One Blackpool and Arsenal of the Premier League. No changes at half-time for either of these two teams, so the home team Blackpool in tangerine shirts with white shorts are shooting from right to left, and Arsenal attacking the goal away to our right, as they are right now, in navy shirts and claret shorts. Iwobi leading the charge. He's fouled by Fowdy O'Connor, and a free kick is given to Arsenal, dead centre, 15 yards back from the edge of the D.
Yeah, need a good start to this half, Blackpool, I think. They certainly need, if possible, if they're going to salvage anything from the game, get the next goal and get the ascendancy. But I think that's going to be a tough ask. I can see Arsenal scoring again in this half. Movement's good, youngsters nice and bright up front.
Aaron Ramsey, who is an FA Cup winning goal scorer, has left the ball for El Neni, who's now going to take the responsibility for the free kick. Ramsey took the free kick from which the first goal came. El Neni sends it towards the left. It's headed into the air by Socrates. It comes back out towards the far side where it's retrieved by Iwobi, goes out for a throw, and Arsenal have it back again. 2 minutes played, second half. Blackpool 0, Arsenal 1, and Arsenal have a very good recent record against Blackpool. They haven't lost any of their last 9 games against them, including that brief stay for Blackpool in the Premier League. Here is Willock across to Ramsey, centre circle for Arsenal. Lichtsteiner just right of that, back in field to the Welshman once again. He looks up, nudges it to the left, finds Kolasinac, the Bosnian, with a barreled chest, moves forward, hands it off to El Neni. Long hair flapping either side of his head. Back into Ramsey once again. No urgency for Arsenal to get it forward, leading by 2-0. Willock under pressure from Spearing, turns away, moves through the centre circle and plays it on to Ramsey. Ramsey now 10 yards back from the edge of the 18-yard box on his right foot, shoots straight in the face of the central defender Donovan Daniels, and it breaks away for Blackpool through Delfonso up towards the right hand side. Nottingham can't get there ahead of Kolasinac. Now there's a turnover, and Arsenal have got 4-on-4 here. Iwobi's taken one out of the game, moved towards the edge of the area, gone down the side of the box, tried to produce a cross, looking for Nketiah, tucked away by Daniels, and Callum Guy will get it clear.
Yeah, unfortunate that the big...
Well, here is Feeney down the left-hand side in a foot race with Jenkinson. Jenkinson did well enough to get it away from Feeney. Not a great ball away by Cech. And then Nandale was battered by El Neni, edge of the area. Referees allowed play on. Callum Guy has switched it towards the right side. It's picked up now by Delfonso for Blackpool, moving to the edge of the area. Right-footed shot, which is tickling towards the far post by Bola, but it's easily cleared.
Yeah, once again, Blackpool creating a decent opportunity to get an effort away at goal, but the final pass or the final effort just not on the money really to trouble Arsenal.
Well, Blackpool's players, when they pulled Arsenal out of the FA Cup bag, didn't think of it as a shop window, but as a professional footballer in the lower leagues, you want to impress, test yourself when you get an opportunity to do so against the big boys. And Arsenal have been tested by Blackpool at times, despite the fact that they have a comfortable lead here. Here is Willock turning away from Callum Guy. Tries to get the ball into a central area, but the Englishman who completed his permanent move from Derby this week, Callum Guy, deflects it behind and away for a corner to Arsenal, who lead 2-0.
Yeah, you can see why potentially Blackpool might concede goals. They leave players sort of on the half positions, if you like, you know. Feeney on one side, Delfonso on the other. They don't get fully back into defensive positions, just do half a job, ready for a counter-attack.
El Neni shortens the near post, where Ramsey has run towards him, back out to Iwobi. Iwobi, who's down by the corner flag, now progressing into the box. Ramsey gets it, turns right-footed, deflection by Spearing over the top of the crossbar and out for another corner. That was a chance for Ramsey. Again, slack marking at that corner, which allowed Ramsey room in the box.
Yeah, that's probably the one thing that's let them down a little bit. Blackpool players are able to run past them, and on occasion other players, the speed of thought, as you would expect with Premier League players, is that much quicker.
El Neni goes back to Kolasinac, a better angle for the cross you would anticipate, which is why they played it short. I mean, none of these corners have particularly worked very well, and Wobi's been done out of it by Feeney, and it's out and away for a throw over on the far side. Might have been better to toss it into the box.
Yeah, you would think so, certainly. I don't think either club have been particularly crucial with corners. Blackpool, pretty poor delivery, certainly first half.
Nketiah trying to get beyond the grip of Spearing. The ball lifted over the top by Spearing, who did elude Nketiah, but Delfonso was offside.
I think it's good to see someone like Spearing who's embarking on his coaching badges, and when you consider, what did he say, he's 30 years old and
30, yeah,
still playing the game, you know, so it's a big ask as well to fit all that in, as well as a playing career, but credit to him for it.
He's had a good solid career, hasn't he?
Yes.
Playing for Liverpool, then Bolton, then Blackpool. He actually was robbed of a quarter of a season at Bolton because they didn't have the money to pay the extra 100 grand that they would have owed Liverpool if he'd played one more game. So he was sort of frozen out towards the last few months of his period at Bolton Wanderers, and then made the move to Blackpool. He's had his tour of the troubled northwest clubs.
He certainly has. He nearly got Man City on his CV as well. We tried to sign him at one stage when I was there, I seem to remember. I think he was at Bolton at the time.
Here is Nandale finding Nottingham, and then on to Delfonso, away by Kolasinac over on the far side. It's with El Neni back to Sokratis Papastadopoulos. Out towards the far side where he finds El Neni again. He switches the play towards the near touchline, and then it's helped on to Jenkinson. There was a good interview in the Times actually today with Jay Spearing when he was talking about his career and getting on with the situation here. He also said that football had been put into perspective after the diagnosis with motor neurone disease of his very good friend Stephen Darby at the age of just 29. Ball played down the right side by Jenkinson, cut out by Boller, who just moved infield and watched the run of Nketiah. It's picked up by O'Connor, who tries to find Callum Guy. He guides it back into the right wing-back position where it's with Nottingham. Immediately Willett comes across and presses Guy. Didn't get the ball off him this time, and it goes back to the goalkeeper Mark Howard. Ball on the chest of Delfonso, far side. Iwobi has it, trying to turn, twist, still going, comes back to Spearing, who robbed him of possession. Delfonso is being penalised for holding on to Iwobi over on that far touchline, and a free kick has been given in Arsenal's favour. Elsewhere tonight, 5:30 kickoffs galore this evening. Bristol City 0, Huddersfield 0, Crystal Palace 0, Grimsby Town 0, though Grimsby down to 10 men. Newcastle 0, Blackburn 0, and Norwich 0, Portsmouth 0, Norwich down to 10 men. That's the latest scorelines in those games, and more details are available over on TalkSport 2, where they're doing round the grounds tonight. And if you're wondering why all the kickoffs have been staggered, I'll tell you in just a second, because Jenkinson is breaking down the right-hand side, looking to get to the byline, produces a cross which is blocked by the retreating Feeney, and goes out of play and away for a throw-in down by the corner flag to Arsenal. Yeah, all 32 games are available to overseas TV broadcasters this weekend, which has meant a variety of different kick-off times: 12:30, 3 o'clock, some 5:30s tonight. There's a few tomorrow that are spread out all over the place. But they have signed a 6-year deal with those broadcasters worth 820 million quid. And that will be the reason. Socrates Papastadopoulos intervening before the ball can reach Nandale. Cleared out over on the far side. Delfonso cuts infield. He's blocked by Kolasinac. Free kick to Blackpool, and Mike Dean's not happy about that. He wants a word with him.
Yeah, he stopped Delfonso in full flow there, and yeah,
I was going to say, I was waiting for the yellow card.
I mean, why would you stop play, call someone over and just have a word with him? He knows what he's done. You either book him or you just, just motion to him, look, hey, do it again, you're booked. So good referee. I think deserves a yellow card.
And he is the first man to go in the referee's notebook during the game. The free kick is going to be taken by O'Connor over on the far side. The ball is clipped into the area, looking for Nandale, away by Lichtsteiner, who got there despite the fact that Nandale is about a foot taller than him. And that is a massive mismatch, isn't it? Nandale and Lichtsteiner. When you see them standing next to each other, it's like he's 1.5 times the size of Lichtsteiner in breadth as well as length.
Yeah, and he's got a decent leap on him as well.
Ramsey winning the ball high up the field, dispossessing Chris Taylor. It goes all the way back to Howard, and it's cleared away. Blackpool did get 10,000 people inside this stadium last weekend, only because Sunderland bought 7,000 away supporters. The fallout with the owners has been absolutely spectacular. In an online survey last month, Mike Ashley only came second to the Oystons in a poll designed to find the country's most unpopular owner. That shows you just how bad the situation is at Blackpool Football Club. Spearing, back to halfway. Daniels, cross to O'Connor. And then it's up into the feet of Delfonso, who tries to move down the right, and then he's backpedaling here. There's space for Spearing, who's being now pursued by Nketiah. Mark Boller takes over. A little nudge to the left where it's collected by Feeney. He's crossing to the box. He's aimed towards Nandale, away though by El Neni, who was covering. And then Spearing will mop up in midfield for Blackpool. Good ball down the right by him with his right foot onto Boller. Through the 6-yard box, comes back towards the far post. Nottingham steers it over the crossbar. Well, it was a great chance. The ball that went through to Boller was beautifully played by Spearing. The cross into the box went right the way through the 18-yard area and missed everybody. Everyone was running towards goal. It just was a bit behind them. It came through to Nottingham. He really had to hit the target, and it went over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, he did. Spearing's pass was sensational, I've got to say. Outside of the right foot, just probed it into that inside left position for Boller to run onto. And when you get... We're speaking at half-time and during the first half about they're creating chances. It's just the final, either the final pass, the final shot, or whatever it is, and that was probably symptomatic of exactly how they've done in this game so far, Blackpool.
There has been a goal in the game at St James's Park. Newcastle 0, Blackburn Rovers 1. Bradley Dack with the goal after 56 minutes, which puts the Championship side in front against the Premier League team. Here is Feeney moving down the left, tries to curl the ball out towards the far side, does that, taken down well by Delfonso, moving now at pace towards the edge of the area. He's got Iwobi for company, he checks back in that right wing position before Iwobi, the Nigerian, nudges it out, and it's out for a throw-in over on the far side. Blackpool 0, Arsenal 2. You're listening to Talk Sport.
Yeah, we've got a bit of pressure now from Blackpool. It'd be nice if they can get themselves a goal. It's a crucial time. They're going to have to leave themselves the opportunity if they're going to pull this back to 2-2 or even better for them.
Here's the throw-in, which is played in towards the near post. It's easily cleared by Arsenal, and Ramsey is threatening to escape here. He's got runners as well in the shape of Willock and Nketiah, the ever-willing Nketiah. But it cut out by Spearing before he could find them. And now a chance for them to come forward with Bola down the left-hand side. He plays it into Feeney. Feeney in the wing position, looking to try and get the cross in. He takes on Jenkinson, goes on the inside, then threatens to go on the outside before coming back infield to Callum Guy, who's 5 yards back from the edge of the D. Wide again it goes to Bola. Bola trying to move towards El Neni and Jenkinson, who are doubling up on him. Back wide again to Feeney. Still the ball's not going into the box, and they're having to be patient here. Bola then dispossessed by El Neni, and Arsenal bring it clear, and it is that final ball into the area, that little touch in the final third, which is robbing Blackpool of a chance to put more pressure on Arsenal. Oh, it's given back towards Petr Cech, and he's misplaced it, fallen over, and it's cleared away by El Neni eventually, but there was a real moment of wobble for Petr Cech there.
I think he's been pretty nervous, this performance from Cech today, personally, with cross-taking, and he's been a bit flustered on that front, and then, well, he almost got himself in two minds, didn't he, and fell over.
Well, I didn't know whether or not to control it or kick it, and then ended up in a crumpled heap on the floor. Luckily, there wasn't enough ruthlessness from the Blackpool attack to put him under pressure. Here comes Nketiah at the other end. We've played 60 minutes on Talk Sport. It's Blackpool 0, Arsenal 1, half an hour to go. Delfonso moving down the right, pushes it beyond Willock, gets into a wing position. Can he get the cross in here? He plays it against the shins of the Arsenal man, and it goes out for a corner.
Yeah, talking about Delfonso earlier, he's got the ability to really catch the eye. He can set sail, he's decent, he's quick, he's not bad in the air either for his height. And just when he was at Aston Villa as a young under-21 player with the England set-up, we felt as though he might have a decent future, but he sort of meandered along, and I think real confidence is probably the one thing that he lacks at times in his own ability.
Harry Pritchard is the man who is coming on. And he's being replaced. He's replacing Chris Taylor, who hasn't had too much game time recently, but has played 90 minutes twice in a row, and started this game as well. That Petr Cech incident almost causing Arsenal grief. He's got to make sure he takes charge of this corner kick, which Blackpool have got in front of the Jimmy Armfield stand. It's into the near post. It's a poor effort by Pritchard and headed away by Arsenal. And Callum Guy just got there ahead of Ramsey as he threatened to go on the counter. Back to Pritchard over on the far side. He's given it straight to Ramsey. There was a bit of pressure from Willock, which the referee didn't like. And it's out for a free kick over on the far side, which is tapped quickly to Spearing. Back to Pritchard. Can he get it into the box here? He's shifted it onto his left foot. This cross isn't great. El Neni misses it. Drops inside the area. Nandalay doesn't react. There's a chance by Feeney. He's kicked it. He's air kicked it. and it's broken away for Arsenal, who now charge up the field with Iwobi trying to take on Bowler. He's under pressure from Callum Guy, who wrestles the ball away from him. Maitland-Niles comes across and tries to put pressure on Daniels, and the ball goes out towards the far side where it's picked up by Delfonso. There's a bit of life in Blackpool as we reach the midway point of the second half. Delfonso into the area, pushing his way past El Neni. Socrates comes across and kicks it out and away for a corner.
I'll tell you what, Delfonso, when he runs at you, what he does and what good wingers should, instead of running straight at the touchline, he runs straight at the goal. That gives you the opportunity to duck inside or outside, and the fullback just doesn't know which way to direct him, and he's caused the odd problems the last few minutes.
Here is the corner. Now, Eddie Nketiah is going to be replaced before he gets the chance to get on the score sheet. He had 3 good chances in that first half and missed all of them. So Lacazette is coming on just to add a little bit more bite to the Arsenal attack. But it's Blackpool who are on the offensive here. And it's a free kick, a corner kick, which is going to be taken by Pritchard over on the far side. He bends it in underneath the goalkeeper. Free header by O'Connor, he misses it. And they both got up. Nandalay initially at the near post, but it was too high for him. And O'Connor in front of the goalkeeper, who was hesitant and didn't come. And O'Connor missed it by about an inch.
As O'Connor's run back to his central defence berth, just holding his head, shaking his head. He knows exactly that was a fantastic opportunity. He just pulled his head back away from it and he got the merest of touches.
Oh, it was a really good chance, an exquisite chance for Blackpool. Curling it in from the corner kick, Pritchard. He almost found the head of O'Connor, who scored in the game down at the Emirates earlier in the season. They've had a couple of gilt-edged chances in the game, Blackpool. They had one in the first half from a set piece. Nandalay didn't convert it, and O'Connor has fluffed his lines too.
Yeah, last few minutes they've done well, shoving the ball out wide to Delfonso.
Here's Lichtsteiner, out to the right, picked up by Jenkinson. Jenkinson tries to shift it onto his right foot, produces a cross, looking for Lacazette, who's just come on as a substitute. Half cleared away by the retreating Daniels. Daniels manages to get it to halfway for Blackpool, but Arsenal are coming back at them here. It's a crucial time, this. You feel the next goal in the game is incredibly important. If Arsenal get it, it could be the end for Blackpool. Willock tries to dance his way into the box, cleared away by Pritchard, comes back to El Neni, who strike, bobbles along the ground and goes out and away for a goal kick. But if Blackpool were to get it, the momentum would be with them and we might have game on.
Yeah, I think there'll be nervous times. Blackpool have proved for the whole duration of the game, not just the last couple of minutes, that they can cause Arsenal a problem, and they've continually done that over most of the game, on and off, but it's just finding that final finish.
Which has been a problem for them, not only today, but over the course of the season. Ball out of play on this near side. Not a great clearance that by Bowler. We're having all sorts of problems here. We've just knocked over a bottle of water all over us, which is helpful. We'll get through it. We're at Blackpool, and they're trailing by 2-0 on Talk Sport. We're waiting for a throw-in on this near side. There is a bit of a problem which the physio is now trying to deal with. I think the goalkeeper's got an issue with maybe his contact lenses. And as a result of that, the physio's come across and is having a word with Mark Howard. Doesn't look particularly comfortable. There is a delay here as a result of that. Elsewhere it is 0-0 in all the 5:30 kickoffs, apart from the game at Newcastle, where Blackburn are leading. Well, the goalkeeper's going to have to come off here, I think.
I think he's got a groin problem.
He's now laid down on the floor, asking for some help from the physio. Help that is forthcoming, but maybe not enough for him. And as a result of that, there could be a change. And Christopher Mafumbi might have to get ready. Mark Howard is walking towards the touchline, and it is going to be a goalkeeping change in the FA Cup.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, really, when you've got to waste one of your substitutes on a goalkeeper. No disrespect for the goalkeeping community, obviously, but
they won't be happy with that.
No, when you're chasing the game and you need outfield players to come on, make a change in it, and obviously you've lost one of those substitutes.
Well, here is the change, and Howard is going up over on the far side. We're yet to see the replacement goalkeeper. They are taking their time over this change. He was sitting at the back of the dugout over on the far side, and he's only just got his shirt on. Now walking towards the near touchline, and eventually, after what is a significant delay, we are going to have a change of goalkeeper. And Mark Howard, whose groin injury has robbed him of 90 minutes against Arsenal, is going to be replaced by Christopher Mafumbi. And he's only played a handful of games this season, Mafumbi. And he trots into the goal away to our right-hand side to have a quick word with his defence. Slowly put his gloves on. Mike Dean is telling him to get on with it, but Arsenal have a throw on this near side, and he will not be rushed before getting himself prepared. He does not want to have the invidious position of the first thing he does is pick the ball out the back of his net. Here on the right side, the ball is with Maitland-Niles, trying to get the cross in. Can't do so. Goes out of play after a tackle from Boller, and it's out for, I think, a corner down by the corner flag. I say I think because once again we have to stand up here, and even in doing so we can't see because of the amount of Arsenal fans that are standing up just in front of us and tight to that corner flag away to our right. El Neni and Iwobi go over there to take it. There's a block of Arsenal bodies that have moved into the penalty area now. Lacazette and Willocker underneath the new goalkeeper, who hasn't touched the ball yet. It goes into the area, flashes past three defenders, comes out to Kolasinac, who slashed the ball over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, poor effort there. Got his first touch just where he wanted the ball, and then just got underneath it and skied it.
Well, at least the goalkeeper Christopher Mafumbi has been able to come on and get himself into a position of relative comfortability before things have kicked off. He took his time over taking his position away to our right hand side. We've stood a bit of pressure from Mike Dean to hurry up, and now he's sort of got himself ready. He's kicked the ball clear over the halfway line, deep into Arsenal territory, and now he's going through some warm-up exercises away to our right-hand side. Now, ball is over on the far touchline, and it's away for a throw which Nottingham will take. It's tossed into the box and headed out by El Neni. Comes back in from O'Connor, and then Maitland-Niles manages to toss it forward. It's whacked into the air by Iwobi. Lacazette is chasing it. Boller's going to get there first, and it's out and away over on the far side, on the near side. 2-0 Arsenal lead on Talk Sport. And Christopher Mafumbi, who has only played twice in the league this season, the 6'6" Congolese goalkeeper, has now got to try and keep Arsenal out, keep them at bay. And it came at a period, Stuart, where Arsenal were having to deal with a bit of Blackpool pressure.
Yeah, I think Arsenal started the second half reasonably well, but after the first, well, probably the first 5-10 minutes, it's really been mainly Blackpool pushing. Delfonso on the right-hand side has been the main protagonist in that, getting forward, doing well. And they've just been a little bit unfortunate with that final pass, but you can't help thinking Arsenal are going to break away and get this third, and that will finish the game off.
Ramsey is travelling with it, and he's launched it down the right for Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who's cut in field, moved towards the edge of the area, cut back again on his right foot. Jenkinson tries to square it from the edge of the 6-yard box. Spearing is there, shifts it behind, it's away for another corner. Mike Dean has spotted something which he wasn't too happy about. Lacazette and Nottingham, I think, both of them in each, no, it's O'Connor who's called over now, both of them in one another's faces, and the referee was not happy about it. He's speaking to him before this corner kick.
Yeah, O'Connor's had a fair bit to say on occasion, certainly, namely to the linesman in the first half after Arsenal's second goal.
Yep, he wasn't shy in coming forward. He was on the front pages of the Limerick Leader today, the Irishman. Here is the corner kick to be taken on this right-hand side by El Neni, deep to the far post. Up went Jenkinson, didn't reach it, runs out to Ramsey, left side. He moves in on his right foot, low ball into the box, which is blocked by Spearing. Out towards the far touchline once again. Picked up by Ramsey once more, who comes infield and now finds Lichtsteiner, who was being shut down. Jenkinson far side into Iwobi, then all the way back to the left full-back area where Maitland-Niles is waiting for it, and it's now with Petr Cech, who this time distributes calmly. His future still up in the air. There were reports that he might move on in this January transfer window. Actually, reports fueled by the fact that when asked the question about his future, the manager Unai Emery said, I don't know what's going to happen with him. His contract runs out in the summer.
Yeah, you'd be thinking that it's time to move on, wouldn't you, really, in his position?
I'm sure he could go and play for a couple of years somewhere in Italy, or maybe somewhere else in the Premier League, and get a good couple of years of playing first-team football. He's only 36, Petr Cech, and he, as a goalkeeper, you don't have to extend yourself that much, do you? I mean, okay, football's
depends
changed
who you play for, mate. I can assure you.
How old were you when you finished?
I was 40, but to be fair, I played in a couple of decent teams at the back end of my career. Makes it a little bit easier, I can assure you. It's like these players that finish at Manchester United and think, I'll go and play a couple of years elsewhere and drop into the Championship. And credit to John Terry for doing that. You know, he done very well and put some good performances, but it's never easy.
Here is Pritchard, who came on as a second-half substitute for Blackpool. Terry McPhillips' side, who have played some neat stuff but haven't taken the chances that have come their way. Find themselves 2-0 behind going into the last few minutes of the game, 15 minutes of the game. It's Blackpool 0, Arsenal 2 in the third round of the FA Cup, live on TalkSport with Sun Football. Visit thesun.co.uk for all the latest results, news and gossip. 15 minutes to go.
I think Kolasinac has had a tough afternoon against Alfonso today, because the one thing he does do, he doesn't dawdle on the ball, he runs at you. So you've got to make a decision, you've got to track him.
Josh Brownhill has scored for Bristol City in their game against Huddersfield. We could have another Championship team that are going to knock out a Premier League side. Blackburn leading Newcastle by a goal to nil. Still 0-0 between Palace and Grimsby, and Norwich and Portsmouth. Here is Guy moving towards the edge of the area. Nandale is invited to go and chase it, but it was too close to Cech. It was a big ask, actually, for Nandale to grab that one from Callum Guy. Here's Willock in the centre circle. Missed Iwobi, but found Ramsey, more by luck than judgment. And now it's with El Neni down the right, looking for Ramsey again. Arsenal must be applauded for allowing the youngsters so much game time. Something that they've done in the Europa League this season, and done it again here today. Willock in particular looks impressive. Nketiah was full of running. Well, that's good skill by Kolasinac on the left-hand side. Lovely little twist and turn. Lacazette into Ramsey. Edge of the box now. Comes back out as far as Kolasinac. It's pinballing around the edge of the Blackpool penalty area. Lacazette takes charge, gets to the byline. Low crosses to the near post, takes a deflection. And it could have gone anywhere, but what it did do was spiral into the air and out on this near side into the left full-back position for Feeney to clear.
Yeah, neither team created too much of a clear-cut opportunity in this half so far as yet.
The best opportunity that Blackpool had came from the cross from the right-hand side when O'Connor went up and should have headed beyond Petr Cech but didn't. Apart from that, Arsenal pretty happy with their loss, I think. 2-0 they lead here.
This is where Blackpool have not had the rub of the green today. Ball played into Ramsey's feet, probably about 40 yards from goal. Spearing's done brilliantly, gone with him, turned the ball over, and it's ricocheted back to Cech. With a ricochet the other way, Nandelay's on with just a goalie to beat. It's little things like that that really need to go your way against the big boys.
Well, they haven't had their rub of the green on the pitch, and there hasn't been too much luck off it. It has been a toxic situation here at Bloomfield Road for many a year now. It has divided the fans. The supporters love the club but don't want to give the Oystons a penny more. That is a slogan that they keep trotting out. It's divided groups of supporters. Here is Iwobi trying to divide the Blackpool defence in two. He sends it on towards Willock, and then it's cleared away by O'Connor and up to the halfway line. El Neni forward to Maitland-Niles. Now it's on to Willock again, and then infield to Lacazette. Back to the left, overlapping is Kolasinac. Plays it across to Willock to complete the hat-trick. Offside flag has robbed him of that. Well, that would have been a sensational goal. A well-worked team goal. Lacazette playing the ball to Kolasinac, who went on the overlap on the left side. He moved into the box, but I think he was offside when he received the ball.
Yeah, good movement by Arsenal. When they do play at a high tempo, little give and goes, Blackpool find it very, very difficult to deal with them.
Well, Arsenal's philosophy has always been, if they're good enough, it doesn't matter how old they are, they'll put them in the team. Unai Emery's position is pretty clear on it too. I will give the youngsters chances, I'll get them to play, but we have to win at the same time. And they're winning here with the youngsters scoring the goals. Here's Lacazette. Joining the attack is Jenkinson into the box, and Daniels did just enough to get it away from the former England man just before he was threatening to burst into the Blackpool box.
Poor ball, I thought, by Lacazette there. He's balled it down, he's done everything right, and then he's just flippantly laid a ball off that ended up being a 50-50 share ball.
I was a bit surprised actually that Lacazette didn't start the game, bearing in mind the number of matches he ends up sitting on the bench for.
Yeah, me too, to be fair. I'm pleased the youngsters have got to run out, I must say, you know, for their sake, but unlike you.
8 youngsters he's used already this season, Unai Emery, which is more than Arsene Wenger used in the whole of last season. So that bodes well. I think the Europa League gives them an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's a competition where...
Oh, Willock onto Maitland-Niles, lovely touch. Helping out is Ramsey, down the left-hand side, shoots into the centre, comes off the goalkeeper, and Iwobi finishes it off. It is certainly Arsenal that are providing the illuminations in Blackpool tonight. It is another well-worked goal from a well-crafted team, and the youngsters were at the heart of it again. Some flicks from Maitland-Niles and Willock in the build-up to that, which allowed the space down the left-hand side for Ramsey to get into the box. When it came across the 6-yard area after a deflection off the goalkeeper, who could do nothing about it, it fell to Iwobi, and he's on the score sheet again, and it's Blackpool 0, Arsenal 3.
Yeah, it did, and that was probably symptomatic of what's happened, that the bounce of the balls just fell. Whether it's partly the bounce of the ball, whether it be the fact that Arsenal players are more alert, to where the ball's going to drop. It's a bit of both probably. And then Iwobi was just there to tap in once again.
Well, 2 goals in the first half for Willock and 1 in the 81st minute for Alex Iwobi has certainly secured passage into the next round.
I think all 3 goals have come from probably about 3 yards out. Would that be correct?
Yeah. I don't think they've been any closer than that. They've all been inside the 6-yard box, haven't they?
Yeah, they certainly have.
A change for Arsenal. And they've made a change at the back. I think Zach Medley has come on. He's moved into the back 4. Gone in at left back for Kolasinac, who's gone off, and then there's been a change for Blackpool as well in the offing, as they look to try and get themselves back into the game. And Stephen Davis has come on. He hasn't had too many opportunities, and in fact I think his contract is going to run out very soon. I think he had an initial contract until the 12th of January. But he hasn't had too many chances. Terry McPhillips said he needed a little bit of luck, and he's gone up front now to try and get himself and Blackpool back into the game, although it seems a full-on task now at this stage of proceedings with 8 minutes to go and Arsenal firmly in front by 3-0. You're listening to Talk Sport live at Bloomfield Road. Well, Petr Cech has been given an awful ball by Lichtsteiner, which he's had to deal with despite the fact that Pritchard was bearing down on him, and he's launched it to halfway and successfully got it clear. But it was a terrible back pass by Lichtsteiner. A bouncing ball right under the crossbar. Here is Bola into the centre, away by Socrates Papastadopoulos, who just angled out a left foot. He managed to clear it over to the far side. Blackpool still in possession, Nottingham forward. And Zach Medley comes across, gets it back to his goalkeeper Petr Cech, and he gets it to halfway, and Arsenal have possession again, leading by 3-0. And Iwobi is free here. He's running over the back. Donovan tried to play him onside, but he couldn't do so, and Iwobi's up against the goalkeeper. He shoots straight at him. Well, that was poor defending by Blackpool again, because Donovan Daniels tried to play Iwobi offside by moving up at the last moment, but he didn't manage to have the speed to do that. Iwobi was free and bearing down on the goalkeeper. Really and truly, he will feel as if he should have buried that chance. That's his last action of the game, because now he's being replaced as well. And it is, I think, another chance for Bukayo Saka to come on. The young England under-17 international who made his Premier League debut against Fulham on New Year's Day. He actually can play at right back and at left wing. Bukayo Saka, I've seen him play both for the England under-17 team. Another youngster of promise.
Yes, it's good to see those youngsters. More importantly, it's good to see him on football pitches playing.
Wearing number 87, which should give you an indication of where he thought he would be playing his football at the start of the season. Here is Delfonso, back into Bola. Bola out towards the left-hand side, and Blackpool trying to put pressure on. Yeah, he was part of the England under-17 team that went out in the quarter-finals of that under-17 European Championships in May time, prior to the World Cup. There's a group of supporters over on the far side that are being ejected. I think they're Blackpool supporters. I don't know whether it's anything to do with a protest which has taken place over on the far side, but certainly there is a group of rather loud Blackpool fans that have been turfed out by stewards. And we're approaching the last few minutes here. Don't want any unsavoury scenes. Here is Bola down the left-hand side, producing a cross into the box. Pritchard arriving, blocked by Socrates Papastadopoulos. He manages to edge it out of the box. It comes back to the left, and Feeney now. Blackpool on the attack again, trailing by 3-0 here on TalkSport at Bloomfield Road. Spearing with a cross deep towards the far post. Cech is coming here, and this time he does gather. Matt Ritchie has equalised for Newcastle. It's 1-1 between Newcastle and Blackburn, and Crystal Palace have stolen the game in the 87th minute against 10-man Grimsby. They had a man sent off Grimsby after 2 minutes, Andrew Fox. They survived until the 87th minute of the game down at Selhurst Park, and Jordan Ayew has scored what is in all likelihood going to be the winner and take them through to round 4. Blackpool 0, Arsenal 3 in the third round of the FA Cup, live on TalkSport with Sun Football. Sun.co.uk for all the latest results, news and gossip. And you'll be able to have your say on all of the action with Stuart Pearce and Laura Woods after the game, including paying tribute to Cesc Fabregas, who looks as if he's waved goodbye to English football today.
Be interesting to know by the end of the transfer window how many sort of stalwarts of English football do actually move on like Cesc.
Jenkinson down the right, tries to send it into the near post. It's blocked and sent out all the way by Feeney, who's in and down by the corner flag now. Can't get it clear, and it's eventually smuggled out by Blackpool towards the halfway line. Across comes Davis, who looks a little bit heavy, doesn't he?
He certainly does. Chubby's the word I'd use.
Well, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I mean, there's a couple of love handles there that need removing.
I think you'll find he's just big bone, Sam.
Yeah? Maybe. Just maybe. Here is Petr Cech away to our left-hand side. Did you ever actually play with anyone who was carrying an extra bit of timber?
We thought Neil Webb on occasion was a little bit lumpy.
The Posty?
After his Posty. After his Achilles problem. Not prior to that. Prior to that, he was an outstanding player.
And I can imagine that was kept under the radar, was never mentioned in the dressing room.
Yeah, and Big Norm, the goalkeeper, Mark Crossley as well. He was always under pressure with the scales on a Friday morning. Credit to him. He had this mentality that he felt as though if he got a finger on the table next to the scales, it would take a bit of weight off. Also leaning on one of his bum cheeks to the side, he felt as though would take a little bit of pressure off the scales and save him the odd pound.
Did it work?
But we didn't think so, no, because there was normally 3 players stood behind him that were pressing down on the scales as well to even that out.
Blackpool have got a corner. The scales firmly tipped in Arsenal's direction here. 3-0 they lead away at Bloomfield Road. Sucker is trying to get clear on this near side, wrestling with Feeney. He's lost out to Callum Guy though. Lichtsteiner is managing to help the ball away, and Blackpool in trouble now because it's 5-on-4, and that's a lovely ball by Oneni into Ramsey. Ramsey tries to go around the goalkeeper. Good goalkeeping as well. Sacco picks up the loose ball, tries to find Elneny. Maitland-Niles in there, spearing with a good tackle to get it clear, and Blackpool survive what would have been a certain 4th goal had Ramsey managed to escape there. That was good goalkeeping by the substitute, the replacement goalkeeper Buffumbi.